Okay, welcome along guys. Thank you for joining us. We're going to do a little something different from a trucking video today. Speaking of different, got rid of the hair. So we're not doing a trucking video today, mainly because we're in lockdown. Country's at a standstill. My job's secure and safe, but there's no work. So I thought we'd do a woodworking video. It's not a tutorial, it's just going to be kind of a run through of what I want to do with a bit of wood that I've got laying about. I want to do a garden trellis. The side of the shed, we've got a honeysuckle plant, and I really want that to climb up the side of the shed. So we're going to make a garden trellis, and we're going to be using this bit of wood just here. It measures about 6 inches wide. 3 inches this way, so we've got 6 by 3. It is about 7 foot tall. And what we're going to do is we're going to slice it using our table saw. So we've got to set that up. But before we slice it with our table saw and cut it into pieces that are manageable for trellis, we need to sand it down. And I've actually got the piece out here that we're going to be using. We're going to use 60 grit wallpaper. Not wallpaper. I'm going to use 60 grit sandpaper, and we're just basically going to take out any potential kind of like splinters that we're going to be handling. As you can see, it's kind of quite ugly at the moment, and we're just going to go along this plank and then make it into a trellis. So let's get sanding. That is sanded. This is the one that we've sanded with the 60 grit. I don't know how well you can really see that, but there's a bit of roughness there, but nothing that would give us a splinter. And I'll try to keep it as rough as possible so that when I paint it, it doesn't look like smooth wood. This is the piece that hasn't been. So again, this is very easy to kind of get splinters in, so I'm not going to rub my finger up and down that too much. But this is the piece we're going to work with, and we're going to cut. What we're going to do is going to open up the table saw, which I've got down there. We'll get the table saw out, and we're going to rip it. So that's cutting that way along the board. So we're going to rip it, rip cut about 1.5 inches thick. So we'll set the rip fence to 1.5 inches. We should get like 4 at least, maybe a little less, I don't know. And then we will rip cut again down this way to get 3. My dog seems to be very interested in the extension lead. Morgan, say hi. This is Morgan. He also answers to the name Bastard, didn't you? Or Tinker. Yeah, you're a good boy, aren't you? He's all very interested in this. Anyway, back to the woodworking. So yeah, we're going to get this cut now. So let's go ahead and set up the table saw, and we will resume then. we're back again now with a different day. We finished cutting up yesterday. It was getting a little late, so I thought I would clear up the garden and start again today. Normally this job only takes a couple of hours, but I decided to start the actual job later on in the afternoon. So I thought, why not do it across a couple of days? It gives me something to do, really, doesn't it? Anyway, we've ripsawed the wood, as you've seen. This is the actual wood here. It's made quite a few pieces, as you can see. Yeah, so they're all in fairly good nick. The next job now to do is we want to go across all of these, and I'm going to see which are the most straightest ones for our uprights. And the ones that have got a little bit of crookedness, they can be our cross sections, so they'll be a lot shorter. So it just seems like a logical thing to do, to be honest. So yeah, I think that's the next thing we'll do. We'll unpack all this out of the shed, and we'll go through each one. I'll mark it down with the with a pencil, what's going to be a length and what's going to be a cross section, and then we'll get cutting to size. I've decided that well, I haven't decided. My wife and I have decided that we want it 160 centimeters tall by 110 centimeters wide. So that's what we're going to do. So yeah, let's get cracking and start sorting out the wood. Okay, so that's now done. As you can see, I've got some very warped bits of wood, but I think we can save it. That particular block of wood wasn't exactly very straight. The one previous that's done the one down there was really straight, so it's a shame, but I think we can save it. It's not going to be a very long project, length or width wise, so it shouldn't make too much difference. And we're not going to be using wood glue, which I'd normally use wood glue for woodworking, but this is more of a carpentry job, I suppose. So we're going to use nails. So once we can get that in, we can really ply the wood and get the nails in, and it will straighten it up a little bit. So yeah, I've done them into cross sections and height sections, and that should be fine. I'll show you the little diagram. It's not a Picasso, it's just a simple diagram. I've also got a fly actually just decided to join us just in there. Anyway, alright, so we're looking at a height of 160 and a width of 110, and it really is a basic diagram of what we want. We're looking at kind of 4 batons up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down, and rather aptly I've got a book called The Shed in my shed. I'll read you a little story, shall I? Little chapter from The Shed. Let's go into the light, shall we? Okay, I'll show you the picture and I'll read you the words so you can really get a good old view of it. Alright, the shed is a man's natural hiding place. It is like the pub, except nearer to home. In a minute, Les will throw his children out of the shed and get on with some proper work. Then, when the coast is clear, he will go to the pub. Obviously, this book was written well before any sort of COVID-19 came out. So, there you go. It's something that I keep in here. My wife got it for me. It's what I call the Bible, really. So, anyway, we'll get the mitre saw out, we'll measure up some wood and we'll start chopping. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so this is the design I'm kind of looking at. I need to kind of fix them in each cross section. This is just a rough mock-up. What I need to do is I'm going to measure 23 centimetres, because this is the bit that's going to go into the ground, and it'll kind of go to about there. So it'll leave us about 15 centimetres. Then we're going to do 15 centimetre gaps at each cross section across, and then whatever wide it is. So yeah, let's get setting up. Okay, so it's now all fixed together, as you can see. Got a nice little pooch walking in front of it. It was really quite difficult actually to try and get it as level as possible. It's a very warped wood, but we've got it as straight as possible. Basically how I obtained that is making sure that each gap is roughly the same, so it involved actually getting some clamps to kind of bend the wood into a straight position. So the next thing to do now is just to gently take off with a hand sander some nasty bits you can see kind of there, and then it'll be painting time. So yeah, that's pretty good, doesn't it?
Of grey, grey morning, grey evening, grey day, grey faces talking shit on TV. What is this? How can I believe in it? Nobody there in who we can trust. Tell me please, who made this choice for us? Talent outside the stars boxed in cage. It's like our deepest fears and now we're blind breaking. You don't shop to the wealthy, just you know who are
one homemade trellis. That's going to be taking that plant there, which is a honeysuckle. I've just started to thread it through like so, and it's up against the shed now. So wow, what a journey that was. That was quite an easy one. Would have been a bit easier if we'd not had the problems with the warpwood. But it's one of those, isn't it? It's actually come out quite nice, I think, to be honest with you. I didn't have too much problem with it. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a little slightly different from usual trucking videos, but you know, is what it is. We've got this lockdown going on, and I'm getting quite bored. We've got quite a bit of wood still. Might have a little play around with something else. But until the next time, I'll see you later. Goodbye.